statement. Number one, first of all, make sure that you are responding to the correct portion of the prompt. Okay? And so you know that they give you a quote. Then after they give you a quote, they tell you to think about something. And then after they tell you to think about something, they tell you to write about something. So make sure that the write about something is the part that you want to be responding to. Number two, state your claim. So state your position. And number three, then you're going to list your reasons 1 and 2. Go ahead, Yoli. So because this, because that. Okay. So we're going to practice this one. So I'm going to talk out loud and you can type the things that I'm saying. And then the next two you'll do by yourself. So I try to make these Animal Farm related, so I googled quotes that George Orwell has stated, but I try not to make it too controversial. Okay, so on the whole, human beings want to be good, but not too good, and not quite all the time. In the above quote, George Orwell is the one who writes Animal Farm, just in case I didn't say that enough, implies that people change the way they act depending on the situation. Write an essay stating your position on whether it's possible for someone to be good all the time. So what do we want to say, y'all? Do we want to say yes, people can be good all the time, or no? Somebody give me an answer. That's what we'll roll with.
No, people cannot be good all the time.
I got 2 hard no's, one from Juan and one from one from Eric. So you're gonna start your thesis by saying, people cannot be good all the time. Don't say no. Just start by saying people cannot be good all the time. Start your sentence typing that. Like what you were typing in Pear Deck should say people. We're doing this one together, so just write what we're writing as a class, not your opinion this time. So people cannot be good all the time because that's what you should be typing right now. People cannot be good all the time because waiting on 3 people to start typing here. Melanie, Marilyn, Emerald. Okay, now we're going to think of 2 reasons. Because we can say because people make mistakes. That's reason 1. Because people make mistakes. That's your reason 1. So at the end of your because, type because people make mistakes. Good job, Juan. Juan's already where we're at. Gael's getting there. Eddie J's there. Eric, good. Zoe, good. Fatima, good. Good, Marilyn. So the first reason, again, that I said was because people make mistakes. People cannot be good all the time because people make mistakes. And my second reason, I'm going to say... thinking, using my noggin. I'm going to say and can get taken advantage of. Because people make mistakes and could get taken advantage of. Sometimes you gotta be mean. I'm just kidding. Those are just my 2 reasons. And could get taken advantage of is my second reason. And could get taken advantage of. And then I could think about like a movie of like where somebody got taken advantage of. I'm trying to think. And there's tons of movies that we could think of, right, where people make mistakes or songs about making mistakes. I'm just thinking, like, in writing theses, yes, you want to make sure you have your claim, your 2 reasons, but also make sure that what you are writing, you are able to think of, like, ideas for your evidences later in the paragraph. All right. Cool. We got most people there. Now the next 2 you're going to go ahead and do by yourself here, and then I'll give you feedback, and then we'll move into our exit ticket, and then that's it. Then that's a wrap. Okay, here's another one. I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes here. I see people using the right language from the prompt. People in power choose to be in power to benefit who? Or you can just say, yeah. Good. Be careful that, remember, for star prompt, you want to pick a side. Don't say like it's sometimes this and sometimes that. You just want to pick a side. People in power choose to be in power to benefit, and then you fill in the blank, themselves or others. You can literally copy everything that comes after the whether as the start of your thesis statement, and then choose which word you're going to keep. If you're going to keep the themselves, or you're going to keep the others. I'm going to say here, because I think I worded this kind of differently, to say people in power, whether you think they should choose it to benefit themselves or others, because then you can say, then it's easier to do the 2 reasons. I just noticed it'd be kind of hard to write the 2 reasons of this one. I still see people typing, so I'm going to give us another minute. Remember to start.
So what's the question? Like,
Whether you think people should, I just said that I should have added a should in there. Whether you think people should be in power to benefit themselves or others.
so whether they should?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could also, I think my original thought was like, generally, do you think like people in power are for themselves or are they for others? Like, do they usually do more for themselves or do they usually do more for others? I'll change that wording for next class. Alright, I'm going to start going over some. Don't worry if you didn't get to finish. We'll look at the responses and I'll give some input here. People in power choose to be in power to benefit themselves only because people with power are narcissistic people and they take advantage of the power they have. And so then this person can write an entire paragraph of an example of how somebody was a narcissist, and then another paragraph about how somebody took advantage of their power. Perfect. This person could write their 2 reasons are ability to give something to those in need and doing things that make people happy in the community. So then their first paragraph would be about doing things to people who need it and making people happy. This is a good claim, but then you just need 2 reasons. This one right here, power is not always important, doesn't exactly answer the questions. Be careful of that. This one's a good way of wording the thesis, but in a different way. People in search of positions of power typically only have that in mind for either themselves or others. Let's see. Because they could defend themselves, that's a good reason, because then you can write an entire paragraph about that. This one was a little tricky, y'all, but you guys did a good job, especially with like copying the wording of the claim. Hopefully this next one's a little bit easier. This one's from Old Major. So nearly the whole of the produce of our labor is stolen from us human beings. That was from Old Major yesterday. Old Major claims that the work and items they are producing is being taken from them when they should keep it, is what I meant to type. Again, haven't had caffeine this morning. Write an essay stating which is a more important human quality, generosity or being frugal. So do you think, it's a little bit of a stretch from like the point of Animal Farm and Old Major, it's not about animals, but do you think it is better as humans for you to be generous with your money and the things that you have in your home, or do you think it's better to be frugal, which means like to budget, to keep things from yourself, to save, Which do you think is a more important human quality? So you would start your thesis statement by saying it is a more important quality to be generous or to be frugal, and then because what? Because what 2 reasons? Very good, Eric, with your claim. I like that, Eddie J, how you made, I think you did that well, acknowledging the other side but still being clear in your goal or in your belief. Good, very clear, Gael. Very clear so far, Fatima. Very clear so far, Juan. Clear so far, Zoe. Good, Alex, but you only have 1 reason so far. You need another one. Right now, you have a reason that just says it makes people feel good. What's the other thing? You could say it makes other people feel good and makes yourself feel good, and then you can write an entire paragraph about how it makes others feel good and an entire paragraph about how it makes yourself feel good. Alright, this is going to lock in 2 seconds. Alright, I'm going to go over some responses that I started here. Okay, so these, let's see, these 2 on top are both correct. And I like these 2 examples because they're basically saying the same thing. One is a little bit higher level vocab, and the thing about this is that both of these could probably still get a 4, right? So you don't have to necessarily always worry about sounding fancy or putting more words, although this one is worded really excellently. Star really looks for the point. And so I will mention that again when I read the next example. So this first one reads, although frugality is necessary to be outrageously generous in the future, generosity is the ultimate goal in life because it creates self-fulfillment and benefits others simultaneously. It is more important to be generous because you would feel better about yourself, which is what self-fulfillment is, and you'd be helping others, which is what benefit others means. So these are saying the same thing, and they're both correct. Here's a point that I want to make here. Sorry to put you on blast, but I'm not going to say your name. So generosity is more important because if you are generous to others, they might do the same to others, and being generous could set an example for others. So this one is a lot of words, and this is something that I see a lot of people do. So definitely not just this person, but this one here, others might do the same for others and set an example for others, mean the exact same thing. So be careful that your 2 reasons are 2 separate reasons that are different from each other. So a way that you could change this is like to set an example for others and like help your community, right? So like you can make change in your community and then inspire others to do the same. Would be like 2 parts. Like I'm going to make the change cool, that's part one. Now part two is that other people will be inspired and will like continue working and doing the work also. So just something I want to point out, because again, not just a flaw I see in this person, but I see students do pretty frequently. Cool. Alright, here's your exit ticket. Your exit ticket I am going to make self-paced. There are 3 questions. I am going to give you 10 minutes for the exit ticket, and then if we need more time, then we'll take more time. Remember to not leave the class if you finish the exit ticket early, because I do want to go over the answers. So I'm going to make this student pace now, and I'm going to put a timer on for 10 minutes. And make sure you go through all 3 questions. The first one is just definitions. Remember that those are on the slide further back, the one with the red lettering, if you need those steps. Google timer. It made sweaters. Not the strongest thesis statement. I'll acknowledge that. I think it's crazy how different those answer choices are from the original thesis statement. I'm really impressed about how many of you have gotten this last question right. Because I was so torn between which one was correct. I was like, maybe I should have included the rest of the paper because I feel like I don't have enough information to answer this question. Remember that this is your grade here, these 3 questions, and that you get more credit for participation than you do for accuracy. We got about 2 minutes left until we go over the answers here. Screens will lock when those 2 minutes are up. Okay. All right, let's do this thing. Stop student paste and lock and lock and lock. All right. This question, I skipped the first one because all you have to do is scroll back and look at the steps, right? You make sure you're answering the right question. State your claim and then reason 1 and reason 2. That was the answer to the first question. Steps for a thesis. The answer to this question here, exit ticket number 2, was, y'all did really well, was H. 100% H. Let's see, the reason why not B or J. J doesn't sound as good. Vocabulary is not as good as H. And G makes this a persuasive paper, right? Or they're almost like asking you to do something. You should go do this. And that's not what this paper is for. If you read the top, he's just like, it's just informative. Like, he's just writing about how he wants to go to Germany. He's not exactly telling other people that they should go. Or like, he's not writing a call to action paper. And so that's why not G. So make sure that you read those italics at the top because it tells you about the person's purpose for writing. All right. Correct answer here was answer choice G, which most people picked, which I was actually really impressed from. F. Sounds a little bit still like simple vocab. The part where it says, made sweaters for them that would do this, right? Seems kind of like reminiscent of it made sweaters. And so we don't want to go with F. H. H doesn't directly state that they are contributing sweaters. It says that there is something they could contribute, but it doesn't list the sweaters. The entire paper is about the sweaters, so the sweaters need to be in the thesis. You guys did really great. We're making progress. All right, y'all, that is all that I have for you at this current moment in time. And you guys have a great day. I'll see y'all tomorrow. It makes sweaters. We should put that on a shirt.
Bye, Miss.
Bye. Oh, I'm so tired.
All right. Bye, Miss. Have a great day.
Bye, Eric. You too.
Uh-huh.